Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grave Matters. I'm Creepy Clown Girl, and alongside of me is Filia Noctis. Hi, sis.
Hi, sis. Thank you for
How?
having us again.
Yes. And let's see who's in the chat before we introduce our lovely guest tonight.
Well, the man behind the yellow stripe, we have Raven with us.
Hi, Raven.
Hi, Raven. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Hey, Lady Spokaria's here. Hi, lady.
And Lady No Pig in Hen. I can't say
Hi,
that.
lady. The second lady.
The second lady, Lady N.
Lady N.
And we have Dexter.
Hi,
Hey,
Dexter.
DQ.
Hey,
And
DQ.
we have the General and
Hi, General.
Furberries.
Hi, Furberries.
We also have our favorite question asker,
Derringer. Hi. Hey, Iz is here. Hi, Infinite Psychosis.
Hey, Psychosis. We also have Derek Weber, Scary Stories. Welcome.
Hey, Derek. Welcome. He'll be on our show someday, too. Hi, hi, Edge.
So we've actually got quite a few people in here right now. Dark Horse Tales. Dark
Hi,
Horse Tales is here.
Hi.
Hey, buddy. He snuck in there. He was between two other dark icons.
Real quick before we introduce our lovely guest, I wanted to congratulate the Evil Outcast on reaching 10,000 views. So
awesome. Congratulations, Outcast.
So congratulations to him. So MCT is here.
And my Chris.
Hi, Christine.
She's my
How
Chris.
are you, honey?
She's not your Chris. She's my Chris.
Yes, we know this, Philia. Sweetheart.
We know. Everybody knows she's my Chris.
Yes, we're fully aware. Yes. So everyone, Grave Matters is going to welcome the lovely and talented spirit voices to Grave Matters. Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. I had one more shout out.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Shout out to Lady Spokariia for 2K.
Congratulations, lady. Everybody give her a round of applause.
Lady Yay.
Woohoo!
Woo.
And we have somebody new.
Triumph.
Starts with a Yep.
Triumph.
Hi, Triumph. Yep. Also, lady, real quick, Lady Spokariia, on your video with MC, I did leave a comment, sweetheart. Love you. So, anyways, congratulations to Lady Spokariia. Congratulations to the Evil Outcast. You guys rock.
And don't forget to hit the like button to let us know if we're doing okay, and to let Spirit Voices know that she's welcome here.
Yes, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to her channel.
Yes. So
awesome.
The lovely Spirit Voices. I gotta tell you, you were one of the first female narrators. You were you were the third female narrator I started listening to.
Oh wow.
That's
great.
Madam Raven, Auntie Creeps, and then you.
Yep.
I love when people tell me that.
Mine was actually Spirit Voices, Gothic Librarian, Penny Tells Up, and Auntie Creeps.
You've got some great fellow female narrators preceding me, though. Like, those are all good selections.
And, you know, a couple of years ago, just 3 years ago, there was not very many. And we have so many new ones coming in now. It's wonderful.
It's so nice. I love
Girl
it.
Power, girl power.
And the boys are letting us in this club of theirs,
right?
And
they're not letting us in. We're going in ourselves.
Knocking down the door.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're knocking down the walls of Jericho, so move over, okay?
But you were one of our predecessors.
Yes.
And so how did all this start for you?
Kind of on accident, to be honest, as a lot of things for me do. I believe I was well, I know it was in the summer. I think it was the summer right before I was about to head into college. So I had like just finished high school. And honestly, I think I was just bored. And I had been thinking of starting a YouTube channel for a long time. Like throughout my teen years, I wanted to start one, but I wasn't sure what to do or how to go about it. And I also it's a little bit meta, but I was like, I think I'm too young for this. Like, I don't think I would be able to produce produce good work, and I don't have money for equipment or things that I would need for that. So I was like, if I still want to do it in a couple years when I have the time and funds and whatever else I would need, then I can do it. And so I don't know why 2018 was the year, but I was just I guess I was just thinking about it again, and I decided to do it. And I can't even remember exactly why I settled on horror narrations. I have always liked reading things out loud, just reading stories to people. I have 2 little siblings, so I used to read them things, and so that's always been fun for me. But yeah, I found myself on the Creepypasta wiki and just started I started a forum post to just ask people for stories, and I got a couple authors sign up, and I read their stories, and I just got really invested in a couple of them. So I was like, this'll be really fun. So yeah, that's pretty much, honestly, that's pretty much the whole story.
So how'd you come up with your name?
My name, I knew I wanted to make it obvious, or at least sort of clear what I was doing, so I wanted like some kind of story element in it. And I was like cycling between, like stories or, voices or narrations or, something like that to make it clear that I was a reading channel. I'm not really sure why Spirit Voices. I had a different name before this one, which
Really?
is, yeah,
Really?
it was not, I hadn't posted any content yet, but when I originally made all my social media and my YouTube channel and stuff, I was Royal Voices, which
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
why. I don't know why. um, but so I had like I had like a crown profile picture, and like I had a bunch of different things like that. And then before I posted any videos, I was like, I think I need to, like, this isn't horror enough. Like, if I'm doing horror narrations, like, I should make it something spooky and supernatural. And so I cycled between a couple, like, I had the voices at that point. So then it was just the thing before that. I switched out Royal with a couple different things. And I guess I didn't want to do something that was already done, so I looked up a couple other narrators to see what words were already being used, and yeah, I think I just thought Spirit Voices sounded cool in the end there. So that's pretty much
It very much
A
is.
very unique name, and it goes with the lovely voice you have.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've
Totally.
liked the aesthetic of the whole ghost thing, so I was like, yeah, this will work out.
Awesome.
Awesome. We're so glad that you decided to join the horror family.
Thank you. I am too. I knew nothing about it before I came in. I gotta be honest. I didn't really know a ton of narrators. I mainly listened to, I don't even remember who I listened to. I know the only one that I really remember as a primary narrator is Darkness Prevails. That's who it is. I listen to him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the true horror stories. I went through a phase where that's all I listened to. But like, I prefer fiction, so that's sort of where I didn't end up going into true horror stories. So
Cool. So, do you ever write your own stories?
yes, I have a few. They're posted on the Creepypasta wiki and Reddit and, whatever. Mostly the Creepypasta wiki, because Reddit, I believe, has to be in first person, no sleep stories. And I don't I don't do that as often. So most of them are on the Creepypasta Wiki, and I've narrated, I think, all but one, I want to say. And they're on my channel. But I don't have a ton of them, just because I don't write horror a lot. I've taken a lot of writing classes. I'm a creative writing minor, but like at college right now. But I don't write horror a lot. I just write other fiction. So
Okay.
but I do write some occasionally whenever I get the idea for a horror thing, which is not often, but sometimes.
Amazing talent.
So
Thank you.
You said you were a reader. Did you start when you were younger reading horror, or like Stephen King and those kinds of books, or just kind of anything?
When I was younger, it was mostly kind of anything. Actually, I've always liked fiction. I was a huge reader when I was a kid. I'm not so much anymore, which is kind of sad, but I would read things like Harry Potter and Series of Unfortunate Events, and things like that, like the fantasy and all that kind of stuff. I don't really remember when horror started becoming a thing. I've never been like, when I was younger, I was never super into horror, but I was interested in like crime stuff, so I think that's sort of where it segued. Like I liked crime shows and stories and videos.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the true horror stories kind of came from that.
Right.
So yeah, so that's sort of where. But yeah, when I was younger, it was mostly just kind of anything, and reading out loud just was something I didn't even really think about at all until I started narrating. I was just I didn't do it a lot, but whenever I did do it, I really, really liked it. Like whenever I wrote something for a class, I would want to read it out loud to everybody. And there weren't that many people to listen to me. Like, I mean, that sounded sadder than I meant it to, but just my family members and my friends would listen to it, but like, I didn't want to force them to sit down and listen to me read for a few hours, so yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember why I settled on that, but yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting transition.
Awesome. Real quick, I'd like to say hello and welcome to Mad Chatter.
Is Chatter in
Ooh.
here? I didn't see him come in.
Yes. Hi, Mad Chatter.
Well, I'd also like to say hello and welcome to the Baron.
Hi, Baron, and hello, Chronopasta.
And DDMC is here.
That's Mad Chatter.
Oh, okay. Duh.
Why did I not know that? Why did I just not put that together?
I do that sometimes too.
Oh my god, I know that.
Oh, duh. Okay, and Chrono has to leave, so thanks for
All right.
stopping by, Chrono.
Thanks for stopping
If he's
by,
still
Chrono.
here. He might have already left.
So, Lucy, as a content creator, what would you say is your strongest or weakest aspects when it comes to narrating?
That's a good question. I don't know. I tend to think that I'm pretty good at like inflection, I guess. One of my biggest, I'm very picky when I'm listening to narrators in general, especially when I was younger and I hadn't started the whole YouTube thing yet. I was like really picky about who I listened to. And one of my biggest pet peeves is like, and this isn't to like roast anybody, like everybody has their own narration style and everything, but just for me, like personally, one of my biggest pet peeves is like monotone reading, like completely monotone reading, because I tend toward like immersion and stuff, so emotion is very important to me when I'm reading stories, and I think I started out not really knowing how to do that. I'm not an actor or anything. I've never I've never acted before in my life. But I think just practice, like having done it for so long at this point, I think I have gotten better. And I only know that because I've listened to my older stories before and I'm like, oh wow, that sounds way different from how I do it now. It doesn't really feel like I've improved that much, but like when I listen to my first few videos, I'm like, oh, that's a difference. But yeah, so I don't know, I'm not very good at complimenting myself, but maybe that might be one of, I would say, maybe my stronger aspects, and think that's something I get complimented on from other people.
And your voice.
That too. And weakest point, I might have to say on that one, like my sound design thing. That is not something that comes. Sound design is not, and like music and all that, is not something that comes naturally to me at all. And you know, one of my biggest inspirations is like the Dark Somnium, and you know, that whole group of people, and it's amazing what especially what he can do. He's insanely talented, writing music and all that sound design that he does, and I definitely can't do that. So that might be one of my weakest points, and it takes me by far the longest when I'm making videos is finding music and sound design and making sure everything is balanced volume wise, and finding very specific sound effects for things, and you know, making sure it's all royalty free and all that fun stuff. Like it definitely takes me forever, and I'm usually not satisfied with it at the end, but yeah, so that I would have to say that one's probably
Okay. We have our first question from the chat, and it is from
Yay.
Derringer. Of course, Derringer we get so many of our questions from him. Questions that we use, we've stolen from him.
nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just take them. We're like, okay, yeah, we're going to start using that in our regular rotation now. But Derringer asks, what is the best and worst comments you have gotten on a video?
Ooh,
Good question.
that is a good question.
That is.
Oh man, my memory is so bad, so I don't know if I can come up with specifics. But I mean, I actually do have something in mind for the worst, because it was like. I only say it's the worst because it was clearly meant to be very insulting, but I actually thought it was really funny when I read it. And I think after it was posted, it got immediately deleted. Like, I think they just deleted it because I don't think YouTube would have taken it down that fast. But I got an email of it. Like, I was at the point where I wasn't getting very many comments on my videos, and so YouTube emailed me when people would leave comments.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got an email of the whole comment, and so I still got to read it. And I don't know if it's still there, like in my email somewhere, but basically all I remember is that someone accused me of taking some sort of medication because I spoke so slowly.
Wow.
And they were like, you must be on something, and this is the worst thing I've ever heard. But I could not stop laughing. I can't even remember the specifics of the comment, but I was dying. I sent it to everyone. I sent it to my whole Discord server and my family members, and I was like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know why I found it so funny, but I might have to see if it's somewhere in my photo album somewhere. But anyway, so I guess that was the quote worst comment, just because there were insults in it, but I just found them really funny personally. I get a lot of best comments, to be honest, because anything I consider best comments to be anything. I get these long paragraphs sometimes of people just telling me specific things about the video that they liked. And how it
nice.
impacted them. Sometimes I get people telling me how the video impacted them emotionally, and and things like that. And that always, it's crazy. Like, I have no words for any of those comments. I try to reply and I'm like, nothing I say here will do that justice, because it's so good. It makes me very happy when people do that. So there's probably a few contenders for best comment. But yeah, so, but I like all my comments most of the time. I get very few, like, real, like, I get criticisms, but I don't get, like, hate, you know? I don't think. I might not just know about it, but, so yeah, I like most of my comments.
Cool. Yeah, it's nice when you affect someone and they've paid such close attention to your work that they can do that, and they can pick out the absolute specifics. You're like, okay, wow, that means you're like, you really like me because you're paying attention to what I'm saying, and you know, because your friends are kind of obligated to be like, yeah, great video, we love you, yay, you know. But when someone else just kind of says that something has profoundly affected them, you're like, oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah, like a stranger on the internet, like they had no obligation to say that, and they took the time to write out a whole thing about it. And yeah, it's very, very heartwarming when I see those.
It is. I believe Raven had some questions.
No, actually, the next question came from Mad Chatter, and I'm assuming he's asking this to Lucy. Most recent D&D character?
I know why Mad Chatter is asking me that.
Okay.
It's we did play a one shot of Monster of the Week one time. Me and Mad Chatter, and I believe Lighthouse narrations. I believe.
Oh, they're amazing. Yes.
Very.
Yes.
Very, very, very fun. Anyway, so I know why he's asking me that.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I don't even. It's been a while since I played Dungeons and Dragons, to be honest with you. I do have a figurine right next to me of one of my favorite D&D characters. It has to be the last campaign I played, and it's like a water genasi pirate bard, and I brought my guitar every session and just like made up songs on the spot. I'm very bad at improv, but like it was just me and my close friends, so you know they wouldn't they weren't too judgmental. Right, exactly. So that was very interesting. And I remember writing a song, not improv, by myself for her, and I ended up accidentally plagiarizing Phantom of the Opera, and I had never I've never heard that song before, but the tune was almost spot on Phantom of the Opera, and my roommate was like, how did you do that? I was like, I don't know. I thought I was being original, but I guess not.
And
so that's
Lloyd
fun.
Crabber's gonna come after you.
I didn't publish it anywhere, it's fine.
Triumph Rat asks if you have any plans on reviving your game streaming now that you're back and active again, because they loved the shenanigans that was involved.
Really? Wow. I feel like that's crazy, because I feel like very few people remember when I streamed. I don't know. I actually have been thinking about doing a live stream. I've gotten a few comments asking like, will you ever do a live stream? And I'm like, oh, I've done them. It's just been a while. My main problem with gaming streams is that one, it's very hard to control. Like, I can't control what the other people do, and I'm very nervous about like live streams, you know, like getting out of hand on accident. Like if other people do crazy things, like I can't do anything about that. So I'm very nervous about multiplayer video games, and then also my computer is not meant for video games. I have like a school laptop that's meant for homework, and that's my only computer. That's what I edit all my videos on and everything, and I'm actually very surprised that it hasn't overheated irreparably yet. So like when it exports, it's crazy. I have to like prop it up in front of my fan and just hope that it doesn't die. So my point is, I will try, but no promises, because I get really nervous about running live streams. So
Yeah.
but it is fun.
Raven says that to go back to the comment thing. Raven says he's recently be getting the "I've heard these stories before" comments.
Oh, those. Yeah, here we go.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yep.
Like,
I
okay,
heard
but like
so-and-so
even if
do
you
it and they did it. Yeah.
even if you have heard the story before, like, two things. Like, one, you didn't need to click on the video if you've already heard the story. And
Right.
then
Exactly.
and then
Sometimes
two,
you
like,
don't
why would
recognize the
you
name.
But like, why would you even say that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Click
it's
forward, move on.
it's hard to find a story that no one has read before.
Unless it's an original.
Right, exactly. Or if like
And-
someone sends it into you personally, which rarely happens. So, especially if you're a smaller YouTuber, like, it's just not going to happen like that. So, because I've definitely done stories that bigger channels did, and I'm like I remember I posted a story once, and I think it was either one day before or the very next day. It was like Mr. Creepypasta or like one of the huge narration channels posted the same story, and I was like, well, no one's gonna watch my video anymore. But so it's just like you can't control that at all.
I did a story that Dr. Creepin did.
Right, exactly.
And oddly enough, it was a Mandy Mortem story, and she's like, yeah, no one ever wants to finish this story. They say they're going to do it, and then nobody ever does it.
Oh no.
So I did it, and it took me a couple months. It's a bad luck story. It's really hard to get out. And then she's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, Dr. Creepin did that a couple weeks ago.
Oof.
And I'm like, what? Now I'm going to be accused of stealing Dr. Creepin's stories, and his fans are ferocious.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. They're very harsh. They don't like anybody else being in his videos. They don't like it when he does the collaborations and brings in the newer people.
Oof.
No, they don't like that at all.
No. I've definitely I've been in a few of his like mega collab videos.
Right.
But man, that's rough.
Oh yeah, go back and read some of those comments.
Some
of those people are horrible. They're like, these people need to, die. Their voices are horrible. How could you lower yourself to even be in the same video with them? And
ouch.
Oh my God.
Yeah, some of them are pretty downright mean. We have a question from Patience.
We do.
And then we have a question.
Well, I'm working on getting there.
Okay.
I will get to the questions. I swear. I got the chat stopped at each question.
So many questions.
Yes.
So little time.
Patience, who is Raven's wife, and we love her to death. Patience asks, where do you want to go with your channel? Do you have any specific plans or goals?
Oh gosh. That is a good question, but I'm gonna have to say no. In terms of, here's the thing. In terms of my life in general, I don't really have any plans. So that extends to my channel as well. I am a senior in college right now, and so my next semester in the spring is my last semester of undergrad college. I'm planning to go to graduate school at some point, so it's not my last college thing ever, but still. And so, yeah, that's a little bit scary for me because I don't actually know exactly what I'm going to do after I graduate. So yeah. So I don't have any plans for my life, much less for this channel, but I do always hope that I'll be able to get to a place where I can be more involved, because I can't remember if we were live when I said this to you earlier, but like I feel like I always miss a lot of the big narration events and stuff, like where all the narrators are. And those are always really fun when I'm able to do them, like go on channels like this one and hang out and you know, go into group chats and talk with people and all that stuff. Like, it's always really fun when I do them, but I don't get to do them very often. You know, and doing live streams and making more interactive content and stuff, like, that is always really fun. So I hope that I can do that more in the future after I'm graduated, and can maybe facilitate my own schedule a little bit more. But yeah, no, like...
That's completely understandable, though.
Yeah. No, like, big plans or anything. I didn't have any plans when I first started either, so nothing's really changed. I was just like, I'm gonna post stuff, and maybe people will see it, and maybe not, and I'm just gonna stop when it stops being fun. And so that's pretty much how I've been activated. Like, that's how I've been working this for, I guess, all the time I've been here, so...
Okay, so our next, we've got so many questions from chat today that which is good. I love it when we get a lot of questions from chat. Lady Nope asks, and this is a fabulous question, and it was one of the questions that we did have planned out to ask you, so we're just going to ask you early.
Cool.
What is your best advice for those just starting out?
Yes. So I have been asked this a couple times in general, just with comments and things like that. And so I somewhat have an answer prepared. One of my main pieces of advice, and I guess this is a good segue from what I was literally just talking about, is like trying to do those interaction things, which I guess is hypocritical because I just said I don't do a lot of them, but just, you know, I find them to be very helpful when you're just starting interacting with other people in the horror community as much as possible, like having social media and you know, joining group chats and Discord servers and making friends with other narrators. Like, I think that's super, super helpful. That's like the only way that I was able to do anything in the horror community was by making friends. Like,
yes.
I didn't know anything about the horror community when I first joined. I didn't realize that there are like rules and like factions, and like I didn't know about anything. So I just like posted a random forum post on the Creepypasta Wiki and was like, please help me. And and you know, they invited me to a Discord server, and they were like, hey, just so you know, if you're like this, these were some really good things about your first video, and in the future maybe consider adding this or doing this instead, or, you know, like they would give me feedback on it.
Yeah.
And you know, that was really, really helpful in terms of just knowing what I was doing and what people who listened to narrations actually liked. And then they had connections, and I was able to meet other people and join collabs. Collabs are very helpful.
Yes, mass collabs.
Yeah, exactly.
Get
Collabs
into
are
everyone
great.
you can.
I get so many people, like most of my subscribers came to me from people I collabed with, like the Dark Somnium and Dr. Creepin, and, you know, just, I mean, I've collabed with tons of people, but like I get a lot of comments being like, oh yeah, I saw you on this channel, and
Leaving thought for bone.
Yeah, exactly. And just, it's a great opportunity. Like, I saw you on this channel, and I came to your channel, and you're great, and I subscribed, and like, those are awesome opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my main piece of advice, I think, because I feel like you can do anything on your channel, and it, you know, it won't necessarily, there's no promise that it will go anywhere at all, like, for anyone. But like, the more connections you have, I feel like the more chance you have of, you know, being more ingrained into that community in that way. And it's always just better to get on the good side of the people you're in the same community with, you know? Like, I feel like that's just good advice for anything, so.
Well, and tapping those, make those friends, make those connections, and then ask questions of those people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Almost to a person, everybody we interview says, yeah, if anybody asks me a question and needs help, I'm there.
Oh yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Dr. Creepin loves it when people ask him questions and ask him for help. Now, that's not saying you can go, hey, Dr. Creepin, I want to do a collab with you, and expect him to come up with the story and everything else.
Mhm.
But if you say, I'm not quite sure how to do this, or this is what I'm trying to do, just about any of the narrators, big or small, is going to be willing to answer your questions or direct you to someone who can.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. It's like
CCG, she is the best at that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
She's the on it girl. She's like, I know that. I know the answer. I got it. I'm on it.
She's CCG. You've helped me out with a lot of stuff in the past too. I know that for sure.
Yeah, she's awesome. CCG's awesome for that. She is like the welcome wagon of the horror community.
Exactly.
I mean, she really is. She's the one that got me started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's great. And yeah, I think the last time I brought up the joining the community thing, I think that's one of the things I mentioned is like, the only like caveat to joining the community is, yeah, just I would advise not to go in and ask, especially with collabs and stuff, like go in and start messaging narrators expecting to have them immediately like cater to you, if that
Right.
makes sense. Like I definitely think there's some sort of
right.
like humility that you have to have in
Right.
going to
You
narrators.
have to pay your dues.
Right, because there will definitely be people who are, who are too busy or, just don't have openings for collabs at the moment, or, there will be narrators
Right.
who politely decline, and you have to
Right.
be open to that. It's like when you send out writing to, magazines and stuff, and like you just have to be ready for potential rejection. But it's, it's good to just go in with an open mind and be like, hey, no pressure. I'm just reaching out to other narrators. I'm a new channel, and if you ever need a voice for a collaboration, or if you ever have the time to come onto my channel, like that would be great. Stuff like that,
Right.
Yeah.
And
But if
then
you have
that's
story
good.
in hand and ask,
Right,
Yes.
that too.
you're
Yes.
gonna get a lot better reaction than
Right.
expecting the other people to do everything for you.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
with
Come up and
me,
say,
actually,
I just have these lines I need. Would
Right.
you?
for me, actually, the role was reversed because I'm over there being me, promoter and supporter in the horror community. It's
Mhm.
like, hey, check out so and so. And of course, I always check and see if, the links are there and yada yada. And then one day, I'm just going along and first came Matt Chatter. Okay. It's like, hey, you want to be a part of my 3-sentence collab? I go, what?
I think I
And
remember that collab.
yes, you were. And it's like, you want me to do what? Because I never thought of myself as a narrator, or even considered it. So I would say, as far as getting me into the narrations, it would be Mad Chatter. He's an inspiration along with Night Terror and
Yeah.
Nefarious TV, who inspired me to put my poems on YouTube. And then came Stranger Stories, and the rest is history. So,
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
we've got her as a narrator too.
we've got her in the we roped her
we
into
got her
it.
voice. We did.
We
Some
Yeah.
of us were tugging and some of us were pushing, but we got her out there.
did it eventually.
Yeah.
It's like I'm fine over here in the corner with my puppet goldfish promoting and supporting.
No.
But see, like
Got here in front of everybody.
almost all of your steps into getting into narrating were like other people that you worked with, and that I mean, literally, like the community is just the thing that will get you into it. Like, I don't think I would have any subscribers if not for the Dark Somnium, like actually. So I had like maybe like less than 100, I think, when he started promoting my channel. Like I wouldn't have any. And it's just great. It's just like the whole community. I feel like I have met very few narrators that I haven't loved and have wanted to talk to again. Like everybody's great in my my experience.
Yeah.
And I know the first time I heard your voice, I'm like, oh, she's gonna go far.
Thank you.
It's like,
I do that a lot. I hear like smaller channels. I'll smaller channels like follow me on social media and stuff. Like I'll follow them back and go like listen to their stuff. And if I ever need voices on collabs, I'll like tweet out like, does anyone want to be a part? And then I'll listen to their channels of people who reply. And like I hear some really good voices. I'm like, wow, you do not have the subscriber base that matches this kind of talent. Like we need to get you out there immediately, ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel that, like, definitely just boosting as many people as you can is great.
that's where the support comes in, because it's
Right.
like there's no I in team, only we,
Yeah.
and we're all doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Our voices are unique, they're different, our channels are unique and different, but we all have one thing in common, and that's whether it be our voices or our channels and our content. And so yeah.
And I think that's partly why I hate the I've heard this story before comment so much, is because like I feel like it's way better if you come into narrating knowing that it's not a competition,
Right.
and that it's
Exactly.
like it's a more of like it's like a community. Like we're all, even if a couple narrators read the same story, like they've all got different voices and ways of doing it and different music and sound effects and whatever that make it more unique. So it's definitely not, there are people that grow faster and slower than others, and it's not necessarily because the one who grew faster is better per se, but like if just helping each other out in that way it's something that is hard to forget, like when someone helps you out like that. So it's just a great experience.
Yeah.
It really is. This community, it can be an awesome place to be, or it's up to you whether it makes or breaks you. So
Yeah, definitely.
as far as the editing, because it can take a while to do one video, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant by it could either make or break you.
Right.
So
I hope that answered Lady Nope's question.
Oh yeah, I told you guys.
Very
I told
thorough.
you guys as we started. I am so prone to long answers.
It's
I take
fine.
forever.
Fine.
We love it.
Okay. So we've got 3 more questions stacked
Okay.
up.
3
Okay,
more
so
hours.
3 more, yeah.
Yeah.
Derringer asks, what games do you enjoy playing?
Okay, I assume that came from the video game stream
I'm
conversation. I hope so, because that's what I'm gonna answer for. Yeah. So in the past, when I've streamed, I believe I have played Sims.
Oh, I like that.
And Stardew Valley, and I played Among Us once. That was a trip. I don't know. In general, I usually like. I'm not a very good gamer, nor again, my computer can handle very little in terms of games. So I do like RPGs. I think are probably my favorite kind of game, kind of video game. Yeah, so just sort of things like that. I don't know, things where I can like get creative and build stuff and build characters. I love making characters. I think that's why I like Sims. I like making characters and stories and things like that. So yeah, I guess.
Did you ever play Castaway?
No, what is that?
Sims Castaway?
Oh, okay. No, I think I know what you're talking about, but I have not. No.
Oh, you should try it sometime.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I love all the Sims stuff. Every time I play Sims, I have to buy another expansion pack, so it's an expensive
Hobby.
game. Yeah, exactly.
It is because I think Sims has gone way beyond just being a game now. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's because you create your own communities and you've got families and multi-generational and it's the developers of that game. I don't think they quite knew what they were. I don't think they knew what they were starting when they started it.
What they were getting themselves into.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I think my first expansion pack that I got was cats and dogs, and I was hooked. I've been hooked since then. Like just getting all the. I don't have all of them. I am a broke college student, so it's a very slow process. But
Right.
and I find it hard to justify like spending a ton of money on stuff like that because I'm like, if it's not a necessity, I get anxious. But
Right.
but still, it's very fun. Just like getting all that. I think the most recent one I got was like the weather one, and it gives you like holidays and things like that, and it's it's great. I don't know. If I ever do a stream again, I might have to go back to that because I remember some weird things happened on my last one just because there's so many random things that can happen in Sims.
Right.
Right.
I think a vampire attacked me, if I remember
Oh
correctly.
my.
So,
Okay.
things like that. It was very horror narration centric, though. Like of all the things that could happen on a Sims game of a horror channel, like vampire attack, sure.
Okay. The next question, actually, two people have asked it in similar forms. So I'm going to kind of combine them.
Okay.
What is your favorite kind of story or video to do? Do you prefer, well, I know you prefer real horror stories, but
Mhm.
like supernatural or slasher or
Yeah. So I prefer listening to true horror stories. I don't really know why, because in terms of videos I like to produce, I tend toward fiction stories, and I don't really know if there's like a certain type that I conform to. I mostly just pick my videos like based on what I like to read. Like if I read a story on, whatever website I'm on, Creepypasta Wiki, No Sleep, creepypasta.com, like whatever thing I'm on, and I like it, I'm way more likely to narrate it just because I have a hard time actually putting together videos of stories I don't like, which is why, people ask me a lot what my favorite story I've ever narrated is, and it's super, super hard for me to pick because because of my attention span and my motivation,
right.
like I have to like the story to narrate it pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I've only read about like less than 5, like only one or two stories that I have not completely liked. So yeah, I guess it's mostly just about what I like to read. I guess if I have to pick, like my main thing about stories that I choose, I think has to be the ending. Like it has to have a good, solid, impactful ending. I think that's sort of what I started doing now, is when I go to stories, like I just scroll down to the ending and just read the ending. And then I'm like, if I like the ending, I read the rest of it, because the ending is my favorite part of all stories. And so if it's a good ending, I'm more likely to read it. So that's not really a type of story, but
but it's your answer, so it's okay.
yeah. It's
Okay.
really my only criteria. If it's written well and has a good ending, then I'm most likely to read it. So
The next one has to do with the next question has to do with your actual making of the videos.
Mhm.
And Dexter asks, you have some of the most patient and measured pacing he's ever heard from any narrator. And so the question is, what makes you take your time and put so much texture into your stories?
Good question.
That is, thank you, Dexter. Yeah, I guess short answer is I'm a perfectionist, like hardcore perfectionist. And oh gosh, I don't know. That's just sort of what I prefer. In listening back to my own narrations, I like them slower. I think because when I am listening to narrations, I tend to sort of, oh gosh, I don't know. I tend to sort of zone out when it gets too fast, or like not be able to process what's happening as well if it goes by too fast. And so that's just sort of like my personal preference is being slower and more, I guess he says like patient. Like I just sort of like the dramatics of that. I think
Those pregnant pauses.
yeah, I try to just sort of make it uniform. Like, I mean, I'm editing a video. I was editing a video right before this, and basically I space out all the audio clips myself, and so I will just go back and listen, and I'm like, I just have a moment where I'm like, this is too fast. I have to space this out more, or or the other way around. If it's too long a pause, I'm like, okay, I'll move this closer, or I don't know. I space all the audio clips like individually, basically. So I just, it's up to whatever I feel like is good at the time. And sometimes I'll listen back to a video and be like, that was way too slow, or I went a little bit faster on that one than I normally do. So I don't know, sort of just whatever I think sounds good at the time. But But yeah, I guess it's up to my own preference in narrations, I suppose.
I find when I'm narrating, because I'm very particular about punctuation, pronunciation.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
she's a
that
Nazi.
I am.
I am. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
I really think. Well, my grandmother was a teacher and very well educated, and I was, there was a certain way you asked questions in my family, and if you didn't ask it properly, you didn't get any answers. So my pacing comes from trying to enunciate and make sure that everything is heard, because sometimes a certain word is going to create an entirely different nuance.
Oh yeah.
And so
definitely.
if that word's not heard, then so I just that's what I do. But I know I get some of the same comments that you do about the soothing. I get a lot of comments that my narration is very soothing and you go to sleep and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's okay. I'm not offended if people say that my stories put them to sleep.
Me neither.
Okay.
I thought that I should be at first. I was like, so you're not listening to it. You fell asleep, but I think it's a good thing. Just in general. I mean, it makes them, if they feel I don't know, like safe enough, calmed enough. I mean, I think the stories are scary in theory. But like if the voice isn't calming, then it's not pleasant to listen to. So I think calming is a good thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I agree.
I fell asleep listening to Vidith 22 17-hour video. When I woke up, Vidith 22 was still playing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Lulled to sleep and then lulled out of dreamland as well.
Exactly.
Okay, real quick, we've got 2 questions again. Wow, we're not doing any of our own stuff tonight. This is great. Derringer wants to know, what is your favorite pastry?
Oh gosh.
And this is the first time food's being brought up and we're an hour into it. What is wrong with us?
Wow. See, I think I would have to say Anything chocolate chip. I prefer chocolate chip muffins personally.
Yes, thank you. So do I.
Yeah, they're just like, because I love dessert. I love dessert.
Mhm.
So
I do too.
Dessert should come first.
dessert is just so good. But like I get easily overwhelmed. Like my stomach gets easily overwhelmed by like cupcakes and cookies and cake sometimes. I don't know why. So muffins are just, they're neutral enough for me and I can eat them whenever, and I love chocolate. So I would have to go with that.
I love chocolate. Have you ever had the chocolate chip?
Yes, those are also
Yes.
good.
Oh my God, yes.
It's a toss up between, I don't have a preference between those. As long as there's chocolate and it's a muffin, I'm in.
I'm so there too.
Yes,
So there.
exactly.
So on the
Wow.
subject of food,
Okay.
you are hosting a dinner party for 5 people
Okay.
in the horror genre. Dead or alive, authors, writers, whoever.
Real or
Who
not?
would you, real or not, who would you invite and what would you serve them?
Okay. Wow. So I did mention earlier, like, I don't watch many horror movies, so I'm not familiar with characters or who would be good characters or whatever. Let's see. All right. I don't know if this is a good answer, but I on Halloween, oh gosh, I don't even know if this counts as horror. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. On Halloween, I watched Clue with my roommates, like the original one, and I would like to invite all of those, everyone, all of those guests there, because
Perfect.
that was literally I had seen Clue when I was a child, but I didn't remember any of it, and I watched it with my roommates, and I was absolutely dying at all the dialogue.
Mhm.
It was literally the funniest thing in the world to me for no reason. And I would love to have a conversation with every single person in Clue, all of them.
Okay.
Perfect.
That works, because
So let me,
that was
so
a very good cast.
It covers
It
all
was.
of the
It
all,
does.
Tim
all of the
Curry,
guests.
heck yes.
yes.
So let me ask you, Lucy, was it Scarlett in the kitchen with the candlestick?
We watched a lot of endings, so it was a lot of people in a lot of places with a lot of things.
Right?
So I don't.
It was
So
like
yes,
those,
I guess.
it was like those books that you used to get where it was pick your own adventure.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know it was Mrs.
Pick your own
White
ending.
with the rope in the billiard room.
Yeah, we watched. We had like a DVD set with like a lot of the alternate endings in it, and so we watched them one after the other, and it was great. It was amazing.
Oh, what a hoot.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good
What would you
Halloween
serve 'em?
experience.
Okay, yeah, but now what are we gonna eat?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Okay.
Muffins.
Muffins, chocolate chip muffins. I'm a really picky eater, so there are very few things that I like, and so I would have to. My favorite meals are the kinds where you can like pick your own toppings on things, like a
Salad.
Sort of, but like I'm also a meat eater, so I would have to say, something like tacos or burgers or something where it's like you start with a base and then can put whatever you want on it, because then I feel less bad about people not liking things, and then I can put as little toppings as I want on it, which is so I'd have to go with something like that,
Girl after
which
my own
I don't know
heart.
if the people from Clue would appreciate that as much as I would, but I think Colonel Mustard would appreciate like a cookout style kind of thing.
Right.
So,
Or you could, pardon me, but could you pass the Grey Poupon?
Mrs. White, yeah.
Right?
Well, just
No,
actually,
Scarlet.
let's just do a potluck. Everyone can bring their own thing. I don't know.
Right, there you go. Just not the bodies, please.
Right. Oh, please.
Right.
Not the weapons or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather not. I'd rather live through the dinner. But
Right.
like, other than that,
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Oh, Derringer
good.
says, it's like she wants me to ask the toppings question. We warned
She
her
just
about you.
did.
Yeah, I
She
did.
just did.
I did.
Okay, so
Lettuce and
I will
cucumber.
ask, what lettuce and cucumbers? Okay, that's what she wants on
For
her hot
anything.
dogs is lettuce.
For anything.
For anything. Okay, so
I
when
like
you
lettuce
go to
and cucumbers.
Subway,
Lettuce and
you get,
cucumbers.
okay, I usually get like spinach and cucumbers.
Okay, that's close. That's pretty
I
close.
get spinach
Because
and
spinach-
cucumbers.
Spinach has more nutritional value than iceberg lettuce.
Right.
That
So
makes
I
sense
always
to me.
get so I always get the spinach.
Here's the thing is that I'm very I have okay. I have anxiety and I am very picky, and a lot of foods that I say that I don't like, I actually just haven't tried. So I actually don't know what spinach tastes like. But I trust you that it's more nutritional than lettuce. But lettuce is safe. All the vegetables that are made of mostly water are good for me because you know.
Spinach has a high
Right.
water content.
Oh, good. Okay, well I might have to try it then.
So, question
I
for
like
you.
a nice spinach salad.
Oh, I do too. Oh, yes. With cranberries, walnuts. Oh, anyways. So, Lucy,
Uh-huh.
you were a bad girl, and you've been put on death row.
Oh.
One, what would your last meal be? And what would your method of execution be?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, point of clarification, I'm already a spirit, so I don't think many executions would work on me. But for the sake
Darn
of this, for the sake of this question, I'll pretend that I'm a human for a second.
Okay, before you
yes.
died, before you became a
Yes,
spirit.
yes,
Okay.
okay, got it.
Before you get
So, okay. Last meal is an easier question than execution, because I have very few, again, I have very few things that I like to eat. What is my favorite food right now? I would either have to say like something like chicken tenders or something. It'll be fast food. I'll go ahead and say that. I have an addiction to fast food. So either something like chicken tenders or like I'm really into like burrito bowls right now.
Ooh.
So maybe like a good like carnitas burrito bowl, like Chipotle or something. I think I would like that. I think like that's enough for me. Like that and like some soda and some good chips. That's enough. That's enough for me. And then oh gosh. Like what are some what
Well,
are
you
some
have
like
the guillotine, the
gas
hanging.
chamber, you can be hung, you can have the guillotine, there's firing squad, there's the
electric
needle,
chair.
the electric chair. Someone said electric chair and raw popcorn kernels.
Wow.
That was MD Who. She said that way when they pulled the plug, she'd start popping.
I can't top that answer. That's a really good answer.
Yeah, that was MD Who.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, I can't top that, but okay, so because I was thinking really, first of all, I'm glad you guys anticipated my question before I asked it because I was gonna ask for options. And then also like I was thinking really pragmatically, like I was like, which one's gonna hurt the least?
Guillotine, I think.
I was gonna say that because I was thinking needle, but then I think that's actually way more painful than it sounds.
I think it's more terrifying because I have some medical background. I used to work in the medical. They give you a paralytic, so you're paralyzed, and then they give you something to stop your heart. So being paralyzed,
that's probably one of the worst parts of that whole thing. Yeah, I've definitely like.
So I think the guillotine is so fast.
Right.
Then you just have the question of how long does my head stay alive after it's been severed? Which,
but
of
at
course,
that point, it's no longer my problem because I can't do anything about it at that point. So I'm just gonna, because you could say that about all of them. Like, how long am I gonna stay alive after the fact? And it's like I don't, it's not my choice at that point anymore. So like I'm gonna go with that one because I am very sensitive to pain. So anything that hurts the least, I will go with that. I have no dignity, is what I'm saying. I just want to get it over with.
Guillotine. I went with guillotine. So
Okay,
good answer. So real quick, I need to make an announcement. The week of Thanksgiving, the 25th, there will be no Grave Matters. However,
Correct.
if you are a content creator, a YouTuber, author, musician, for Grave Matters, we do have the 11th and 18th available here on Grave Matters. So if anyone is interested, get a hold of myself as Raven Dreams or Filia Noctis in DM and let us know that you're interested for either the 11th or 18th. Thank you. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Did we catch up on all the questions?
We did, actually.
Yes.
And so
Awesome.
we still have a few minutes. So I'm going to ask one of the questions that I usually ask in the beginning. Do you believe in the paranormal?
Yes. So tentatively, yes. My answer, I feel like, is slightly complicated because I don't really have an opinion because I have seen no proof in the paranormal, so I can't like say yes for sure. But I also am open to it, so I also can't really say no. I'm open to paranormal stuff because I think it's very cool, and if it did exist, that would be. I mean, it would be terrifying, but it would be cool, right? Like, it'd be interesting, at least.
It is. It's all of
So,
those.
right. So, so like, I guess yes and no, but hope, like, again, if I had any like paranormal experiences, which I don't think I have as of yet, then I would be a very, very easy to convert, I think. I would very quickly be like, yes, immediately.
Okay, good. Okay, we have 2 more questions for you. Got a
Cool.
chat. Wow. Okay. So, Patience asks, have you ever met anyone famous?
I don't think so. I don't know why I'm questioning myself. My memory is very bad. But I don't believe I have, which is a boring answer, unfortunately. But I hope that I do. I would like to be the kind of person who like buys meet and greet tickets or something at some point, but as of right now, no.
Okay. The next one requires you to think a little bit.
Oh, good.
Have you? You're like, oh damn. What were your top 3 favorite creepypastas that you've narrated?
That is a good question. I like top 3 because I always get asked like my all-time favorite one, and I'm always like, I don't know. Top 3 is a little easier actually because then I don't have to pick a favorite. One of my favorites has to be The Bottom of the Ninth, which I believe I said on Traveler's Tavern as well, because I love that story. And for people who haven't listened to it, it's baseball themed, but I don't know anything about sports, so I originally was reading it like I'm never gonna be able to narrate this story. I know I'm gonna make a fool out of myself, but it's actually just really funny and really good, and like I can send it to my friends who hate horror because it's not like scary, it's just like horror themed and like funny and interesting. And I had Romnex on it, and we're both sports announcers, and there's like no real narration, it's all voice acting, it's just us, it's just dialogue, us talking back and forth. And I love that story. I loved performing it. I loved having Romnex on it, like her basically just having a conversation with me. I loved pretending to be a sports announcer. I loved the sound design, even though crowd sounds were very hard to find. It was just very different from what I usually do. So that one is probably one of my all-time favorites.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Are you okay?
Yes. Choked
Okay.
on water.
Happens to the best of us.
That's what I'm grabbing is some water.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of two other ones because there's a lot of, again, I don't narrate. I don't like, so I have a lot of ones that are really good.
Right.
I think Heavy Rain is one that I like. It's a very interesting concept, and at some points I was like cringing a little bit. And if you haven't listened to the story, like you know why, you know what I mean if you had. But it was my longest story. I had to do 2 parts, and both parts were each about an hour or 50 minutes or something like that. And
Wow.
I've never done anything that long before or since. And there was a lot of sound design that was new to me. I believe the first video had a couple guests in it. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it was just, so it was very long, and it was very interesting. And I remember putting a lot of effort into it because I really liked it. And then a third story. Oh gosh, I would probably have to go with, this is kind of a cliche answer, but I'd probably have to go with my first story, which is Another Senseless Ritual. And it's a pretty simple ritual creepypasta, but it's one of my favorites, partially because it's very well written, in my opinion, but also because it has sentimental value to me now. It's my first ever story, and I still remember it. I remember it the best, or at least as one of the best, and I did it so long ago that's impressive for me. That I remember it at all.
Right.
And I'm still friends with the person who wrote it. Like, I didn't know them before I read their story, but he's the one who invited me to my first horror community Discord server, and I just have a lot of sentimental value attached to that story now, and also I just think it helps that it was just a good story, but yeah, so
Cool.
hopefully those are satisfactory. Top
Great
3
answers. I
Yeah.
like that. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is not a Derringer question, but it absolutely sounds like it could be. I think Derringer and Triumph Rat are getting together now. If you could only
Conspiring.
have one type of chocolate dessert ever again,
Oh gosh.
what would it be?
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah,
I know, right?
that's really rude to ask.
That's-
It's just horrible to even think of.
right.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna have an existential crisis over this question. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to say, if I have to pick one, probably Hershey's Kisses. Because I love those things. I
do too.
I love them so much, and I could eat a million of them if I was able to. So I think it would be really, really sad that I couldn't eat any other chocolate desserts, but I feel like I as long as I could still eat Hershey's Kisses, I would survive,
Mhm.
Right.
in only the way that an already dead spirit can.
Right.
Love that answer.
I actually like the Hershey's Nuggets better.
Oh,
than
those
the
are also
Kisses.
good.
And I don't know why. I mean, you'd think it would be the same chocolate because it's Hershey's,
Right.
but in my head, they taste different.
I get
My-
it.
I like the Nuggets better.
I trap myself into I just realized that I trapped myself in a corner a little bit because I could have just said Hershey's chocolate, like, in
Right,
general,
right.
but I had to stick to I'm sticking to Kisses because I already said it. So, it's too
I would
late
think-
now.
Yeah, I'm thinking chocolate cake. because you can do a lot with chocolate cake.
That's true.
You
There's
can
a
make
lot
a
of
trifle out of
flexibility.
it. There is. There is. See, I was thinking about this while you were talking. I was thinking, chocolate cake, very flexible. You can do a lot of things with it.
True. I feel like I can put Hershey's Kisses like in other
In
things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you know, that's probably what I would end up doing. Like for, you know, baked goods and stuff. As long as I
Right,
could just
right.
get the Hershey's chocolate somewhere.
For your
feel like-
for your chocolate chip muffins, just chop them up.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. There you go.
One of
Same-
my
same
favorite,
wavelength.
one of my favorite chocolates is the Dove dark chocolate.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dove is
chocolate is
high
good.
quality.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Have you guys had dark chocolate oranges? Because
Yes.
those are,
Oh my
know,
God,
those
they're
are so
amazing.
good.
Oh
I
God,
don't
yes.
like chocolate oranges. I love
That's-
orange. And I
That's
love
fair.
chocolate. But I don't like those two together.
That's fair, but I get one every year for Christmas from my mom, and it's
Well,
it's
it's
just so
yeah,
good.
it's a
I
sentimental
it
thing
is.
too. I get that. But like my daughter doesn't like chocolate mint, and I'm like, how can you not?
Oh yeah, that's a tragedy too.
You know, but everybody has their own taste. I just can't get the orange and the. And I know so many people love them. I just
Oh, I do.
I mean, I
Um,
don't like nuts in chocolate, so that's mine.
oh
Right.
okay, well yeah.
Like, I went to a place called Golden Corral one time, and they had the chocolate fountain, right? They had the typical fruit.
Right.
Well, they ran out of the typical fruit, and I'm like, huh. So I went over and I grabbed watermelon, honeydew, orange slices, and cantaloupe, and I played dip 'em. And
Oh,
oh my God,
Interesting.
chocolate dipped cantaloupe, honeydew, and watermelon. And of course, we know orange, but it's
Right.
amazing if you haven't tried it.
I have not. I do actually really like cantaloupe, so now I'm kind of curious.
It is so good. I'm like, oh my God.
I haven't been to a Golden Corral in like 10 years, but I might just. I mean, I'm sure that there are better ways I could get chocolate cantaloupe, but
Just get Hershey Kisses, melt it, and dip your cantaloupe in it.
well, the
There you go.
chocolate they use in those fountains is more like Hershey's syrup than
Right.
actual
Yeah,
melted chocolate.
that's true.
Right.
See,
but
if it
it's
were
so
more
good.
like melted chocolate, I would like it better.
Oh, and don't forget the pear and apples. So those are good too.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true.
Chocolate dipped apple and
Yeah.
pears.
I haven't had pears in forever. I don't know why.
They had
It's-
pears at
Mhm.
Golden Corral.
Hmm.
Cool.
They don't have it very often, but I guess because they ran out of the other fruits, so they had some stuff.
they were like, just put whatever we have on there.
Right?
It's
So-
good enough. That's
Do
on
we-
brand for Golden Corral.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Someone else. Oh, yes. Some Derringer wants to know, what is your favorite anime?
Oh goodness. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really watch anime. Not because I don't like it. I don't know. Like I have a long list of shows that I need to watch. And I just haven't had the time or the motivation to sort of do the research on what anime is good and all that stuff. Like I know that I have friends who like anime and can probably refer me to things. But I just haven't I haven't gotten quite invested yet. I mean, Pokemon counts as an anime, right? Because I have seen that. So, if so, I would have to go with that. But that's really the only like anime-like thing that I've seen. So,
I love Pokemon, especially Pikachu.
yeah, Pokemon is great. I'm obsessed actually with Pokemon. But
Oh,
other
right.
than that,
Do we have any more questions from the audience?
I thought there was one. I'm looking for it.
someone asked me earlier.
Mayonnaise and
what?
peas on pizza? What?
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 I
Ew.
don't know. I
Ew.
got lost and
You made a wrong turn somewhere.
no,
I don't know
no,
where you
it's
ended
in
up,
the
but-
chat. Derringer said mayonnaise and peas on
No, thank you.
Oh,
mayonnaise
no,
and peas
thank you.
pizza. That's
that
what
is-
he said.
If that is a
I
question,
just-
my answer is no.
No. I don't think
Never.
it's a question. I think it's a response to something, but that just happened to be where you know,
Excuse
because
me.
I'm scrolling.
No, thank you. If someone asked me what program and mic that I
Right.
use,
Okay. Yeah. That was that. Yes.
and as for a microphone, I have a, oh gosh, I don't know how to pronounce it. I might butcher it, but it's Fifine. I say Fifine, but I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I think my dad gave it to me, but it's like $30 on Amazon. Like, it's not an expensive microphone. It's a USB microphone. I know I have a lot of people telling me not to use a USB microphone, but it's all I got. So
You do what you got to do. You use what you got.
yeah. It's a USB microphone into my school computer, and people say my quality's great, so I'm just gonna go with that for now.
I used to use my earbuds.
Oh yeah, I had a $10 microphone when I first started. It was literally $10. I think also off Amazon, and it was like just a tiny little tripod plastic microphone. So that's where I started, and so I actually have, believe it or not, upgraded to a $30 microphone. So, and then programs. As I said, I'm in college, so I have a student discount on Adobe products. So I use Audacity, which actually is not Adobe, so I don't know why I started with that, but I use Audacity for noise reduction and compressors and stuff like that, and then I use Audition for de-essing and clarity filter, and then I use Premiere Pro for everything else, so like assembling all the music and video and cutting up my audio and all that fun stuff. So Premiere Pro is my main program that I use. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
fun technical question there.
Right. So we have been asking so many chat questions. I'm kind of like lost at our normal questions. I'm like, all right. So which ones do I want to ask real quick? Oh, okay. I've got one.
Mm-hmm.
This one actually came from the Dr. Creepin interviews. There was 2 of them.
Okay.
So I will ask them both and make you think.
Okay.
What noise or sound do you love? And what is your favorite word?
Oh, wow. I know you can't see me right now, but I just like stared blankly at the wall in shock. I was not expecting that. Okay. The first one was what sound or noise do you love? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Off the top of my head, I have to say piano.
Okay.
I love piano. It's sad because I don't know how to play piano. One of my roommates has tried to teach me, and I just don't have the time to commit to learning it. But I just love piano. I don't know. Nothing can relax me as much as listening to piano music. So
I agree. Piano and violin.
it's great, and I don't have like the nuance to listen to piano and be able to get certain emotions out of it. I just like, I know a lot of people who can do that, and you know, the people who I get my music from for horror narrations, like I look at the comments and there are people who are like, oh, I got this specific feeling from this piece and this is what I linked it to in my personal life, and I'm like, I don't get anything necessarily like that from it. I just you know, I just love the way that it sounds in general. So so yeah, so that, and then what was the second one? My favorite word? Oh gosh. I don't know if I have a good answer for that one. Because right when you asked it, I immediately forgot all words that ever existed. Like I just don't know any words anymore. Yeah, that one is really hard.
Okay. Well, I will tell you what Dr. Creepin, and I know I bring this up a lot. Dr. Creepin had the best frickin' answer ever.
Oh wow, really?
His answer is petrichor.
Ooh.
And petrichor is the smell of the ground as it starts to rain for the first time in a while. So like when the ground is real dry and you get that first rain, the smell that comes up from the ground, that's called petrichor.
Wow. Did he like okay,
I
did he
have no
have a
idea.
chance to think about this answer or
No.
what?
No,
That's
that was
crazy.
right off the top of his head. But
He
is
must
so,
have been
like,
asked that
crazy
before.
smart. Maybe
That's
he
insane.
has. Oh, Raven said no, he's British.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good answer.
But that is just, and now that's like one of my favorite words because it's like, oh my god, I never had a name for that.
That's crazy because I'm realizing that me and Dr. Creepin had exact opposite answers where he came up with a really beautiful word immediately and I immediately forgot all words, all of them. So that's cool.
It's okay.
I'm on the other end of the spectrum from Dr. Creepin, I guess.
So
I think his answer resonates so much with me. I live in the desert. Actually, myself and CCG and Christine Baker, who's in the chat, and we all know each other. We live all in the same desert. And so when we get rain, that smell, you can smell the rain coming.
Yeah.
And it's just, I've lived a lot of other places. I've lived in Alaska and, I've lived back east. I've lived in the South. Nothing smells better than the rain in the desert.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I grew up in Texas, and so I get that.
East or west? East or west?
Oh gosh. I'm bad at geography, but I think I was closer to I think I was pretty much right in the middle. I don't.
So was it still kind of deserty, or were you more like grasslands?
It was more grasslands, but I mean, one of my most vivid memories is growing up and going to church, and they would always be praying, like every single week. It would be like praying for us to not be in a drought anymore. Like it would be actively raining outside, and they would be like, please, send us water and to spare us from this drought. I'd be like, as a child, I was like, there's water right there. It's raining right now.
Right.
But so anyway, I think it's just a Texas.
It's probably a similar smell.
Oh yeah. It's very, I don't live there anymore, but like it's a very sentimental smell. Actually, it was just sprinkling today, and I was smelling that a lot. Like before it pours rain. And it's just sprinkling, and like the sidewalk has that. So I
love that. Yeah,
that's when petrichor is
very good.
Right.
Very good.
There you go. That's it. You got it.
I think we have one more question from the chat from Derek.
Yeah, from Derringer.
Derek Weber, Scary Stories asked, what, if any,
there it is.
anything do you wish you could improve upon in your channel / workflow process?
So what, if anything, do you wish you could improve upon in your channel or your workflow process?
Well, probably I would have to be just my interaction with like my subscribers, because I mentioned this earlier, but like I don't feel like I interact enough. Oh gosh, I'm always apologizing to my few patrons on Patreon, because I'm like, I never feel like I give them enough content like to justify any amount of money that they're giving me, and so I'm always like, I'm so sorry, like I'm gonna try and do extra stuff, and I'm always like they know that I'm always apologizing to them. And I used to do that more just in general, like on my community tab. I would always be like, "I'm sorry, guys." So mostly that, just doing more like live streams and extra stuff. I've been wanting to like update my channel trailer for a long time now, and it would be too. I haven't found the spare time to do that, and just various things like that. Just like updating things and interacting more. I would love to do that, and I hope eventually I actually can, because right now I don't feel like I'm doing that at all.
Well, it will come in time.
Yeah.
So-
And every time I apologize to my patrons, they're like, they're too nice to me, because they're always like, you don't owe us anything, and we're just happy that you're producing videos. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I still want to do the stuff, like, as I said, I'm a perfectionist, so they're very sweet, but I'm always like expecting more from myself.
Right.
So
Right.
I feel like that's not going to change, really.
And that's a good quality to have. So,
Yeah.
Okay. That according to Raven, that was our last question of the night.
yes. So-
the man behind the yellow stripe controls our timing.
Yes.
Actually, it's the woman behind the man behind the yellow stripe.
So I'm going to go ahead and start us out, then have Lucy say something, and Sis, you can send us out with the
With the regular
commercial.
stuff.
Yeah, the regular stuff. So anyways, thank you again to Raven and Patience. Awesome duo there. Thank you to everyone in the chat for stopping by and being here every week with us. Thank you for the amazing and awesome questions. You guys totally rock. Thank you to my sister from another Mr. Filia for joining me every week. Awesome to have you as a host with me. And thank you to the very lovely and talented Spirit Voices for being with us today. This has truly been an honor and a dream of mine come true. So
It has been.
amazing. So remember, everybody, stay
No
frightened.
show on Thanksgiving Thursday.
Yes, no show on Thanksgiving. Also, if you would like to be interviewed for the 11th or 18th, contact one of us. But until then, remember, stay frightened. And if you do listen, the graves always whisper. Go ahead, Lucy.
In Spirit Voices.
Yes.
Admitted
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry, what am I supposed to say?
You just say your thank yous and goodbyes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
great. Okay. Yeah, so first of all, I guess thank you to you guys for having me on, because this is very fun. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to talk with you guys, because as I said, I do not do enough engagement and I love it. So and thank you for everyone in the chat. There's so many nice comments that I didn't get to respond to, but I've sort of been glancing over the whole time, and everybody's so sweet and engaging, and I'm glad everybody had fun. And yeah, whether you have already known my channel or not, or intend to seek it out or not, I'm grateful for everyone being here and having a good time with us.
Great. Thank you so
Love
much.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. And chat, thank you. Great questions tonight. This has been a first for us, that we have had almost an exclusive chat question interview,
Yes,
which has
amazing.
kind of been fun. Remember, Spirit Voices information is all in the description down below, and it should be pinned to the chat also, all of her links and stuff. And Raven, thank you for being here, and Patience, thank you for letting us have him. Creepy Clown Girl, my sister from another mister, thank you again for joining me and letting me
welcome.
join you. And
Thank you.
Spirit Voices, it was wonderful to have you on. It was so much fun. We'd love to have you back.
Of course.
Great.
Yeah, just let me know whenever you have a spare
Absolutely.
opening.
Okay, great. Because we have so many more questions that we never got to. We could do another hour and a half with you.
Ooh, yes, a sequel.
What are you doing the
A
11th?
sequel. Have
Yes.
a sequel. Yay. Okay.
What are you doing the 11th?
We could do a two-parter.
I mean,
Yes.
tentatively nothing. So we'll talk.
Well, everyone,
Okay,
join us
absolutely.
next Thursday for Spirit Voices.
Spirit Voices Part 2.
Yes,
I'm up for it. I'm
I
up
was
for it.
so
for it.
good. I needed to come back.
Right. Yes.
It'll be an
Okay.
even bigger chat next time.
Right.
That would be great. You know what? I really think if we can make that happen, I think that would be awesome. And we'll advertise it all week. Spirit
Everyone needs
Voices,
to bring a
Part 2.
friend.
Yes, and
2.
everybody needs to bring a friend. I think, yes. You all have your homework. You all have to go out and make a friend.
Recruit
And it
someone.
can't be one of us. It has to be a new someone.
Yes, we have to get at least 30 people in the chat.
Oh,
And
that
real quick, Matt Chatter, if you're still here and listening, Grave Matters would love to have you on sometime as well. Go ahead.
I think
Sophie.
he might have left.
I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
think he had to leave, but like,
Yeah.
I would love to hear that.
Right. Okay, so once again, congratulations to Evil Outcast for your 10,000
Views.
views. Yeah. And Lady Spicaria for your 2,000 subs. Yay. And if any of you are interested, the Nevermore Collective is a group of content creators that have come together to create a stage. This platform is for anyone in the community, and it is designed for content that may not fit your normal channel. If you have something that you've always wanted to try, but were afraid to put it on your channel because you didn't know how people would receive it, you can come over here and try it on ours. We currently have 2 interview shows, Traveler's Tavern and Grave Matters. We can host videos for you also. We periodically have a show about cryptids. And if, we can do game streaming, there's a lot of different ways we can do things. So if you're interested and you have any questions about joining or hosting on this platform, just reach out to As the Raven Dreams, PA Nightmares, myself, Patience, Creepy Clown Girl. Any of us can get you the right 42 reads. Any of us can get you the right place you need to be. And remember, once you join the collective, you can leave. Nevermore.
Nevermore. Bye, everyone.
Mwah.
Mwah.